Hello there. Welcome to another live stream. My name is Shane Olson, and today we are going to be continuing to work on this hammerhead feller. So I'm excited to get this going. Did I? I don't know if I put the. Anyway, the concept artist for this is Gabriel Pinto. I believe that's his name. Okay. Anyway, welcome. I'm going to start coloring this. Hey, Augustine, how are you? I'm good, thanks. I'm just going to fill all of these with this brownish color just to get it going. And then this jacket, I want to kind of split off. Hey, Neil. Split hidden. And we'll fill that. Just wanted to, oops, grab this color. Okay. Fun. All right. Weird, it says 0 people watching. But I know there's more than just 0. Can you guys hear my music? Hope not. Okay, I want to take this hand where we left off last time. Oh, this is, let's delete these. These were from demos from last week. Okay. Eduardo, thank you. Okay, good. Listening to a little bit of In Excess today. Why not? Let's hide this and split hidden, because I want to take this hand and kind of move it over here. I'm not going to pose it just yet. Let's split it because I want to mirror it without mirroring the other hand. Since it's the other opposite hand. There we go. Reset this and then spin it around. There we go. Your show's 12 watching. Okay, thanks, Mike. How are you? Welcome to the stream. If I sing, I apologize. It's hard for me to resist singing. Good, thanks. Awesome. Okay. Let me evaluate here. I think I'm going to start putting the sleeves on and the pant legs on. And then we'll just kind of sculpt this, you know, the not the robe, but the stuff underneath. Disappear. Don't remember that song's name. In Excess. Oh yeah, I'm listening to beautiful girl right now. Beautiful girl, stay with me. You know that one. Okay, let's see. Let's get let's start with this sleeve here. I'm going to grab these arms and then insert a, let's just do a cylinder. I hardly ever use cylinders because the spheres are so organic, you know? You know, I think I'm going to insert them into this robe instead. It doesn't matter because I'm just going to split them off anyway. How's my audio levels today? And I have my camera. Hi. Last week my camera wasn't working for some reason. No idea why. Just decided not to work. Right, I'm going to shrink this way down and then flare it out. Now I'm listening to Suicide Blonde. I like the song because it has a harmonica in it. And I like to fiddle around with harmonica a little bit. Let's kind of bring that back a little bit. I'm just trying to get the silhouette happening first. And this is a super low resolution cylinder with a quad cap. This comes as part of my insert multi-mesh brush. These are my primitives that I made. And you can kind of see the list of the primitives. I wish I had a single plane here now that I have this retop brush, but these are all quad based objects, and the reason they're quad based, meaning they don't have poles. Typically like cylinders and spheres will have a pole at the top, but that has issues when you go to subdivide something. It's going to pack a ton of polygons into the poles. So quad meshes are way better to use. And these spheres are just different levels of pre-subdivided quads or spheres. So they work pretty good. But this cylinder in particular, it doesn't have any edge loops going down the length of it. And that affords me to be able to do cones like this because I can just scale one end and it's not going to affect it. So I'll add interior loops later on, or Dynamesh or dynamic topology or something like that later on. Anyway, you guys let me know if you have any questions about this workflow, what I'm doing here. That's what I'm here for. And this is Maxon's YouTube channel. Not obviously, some people don't realize that, which they are the makers, partial makers and owners of ZBrush. So I should be clear about that. I just kind of want to get this sleeve going, and then I'll just let's grab this detail brush. I like to use this detail brush sometimes to dig into the surface, but sometimes my resolution on my meshes are too low to actually pull that off. And it's weird because I think the bend, how much he's bending over right here, is throwing off the measurement and the distance. See, when he's like this, or in perspective even, let's turn that down to like 85. You can see that it is looking better. I need to shift his whole upper body even more to the right though. His right, screen left. How do you add the reference to the top? It's really, really simple. So what I typically do is I will prepare the image first in like Photoshop or Procreate or something like that, where I'll just take the image and I will either lasso tool it out or select it and then put it on its own layer, the image that I want. I kind of make it look like a sticker. And then I will, I'll fill the background layer with 100% black because inside of ZBrush, 100% black means transparent. It's like an alpha channel thing, but it has to be 100% black. So I'll actually take the blacks in the image itself and pull those up away from 100% black just so they don't disappear. And then I will save it as a PNG. You can also use PNGs and import them, and it will automatically change the transparent background to black. And then you go to this texture right here. Then you click on this big square, and then click on import, and you'll bring that image in. Okay, and then it'll look like it didn't come in or didn't do anything. So then you'll click on it again, and then you'll see it down here. So click on that down here and make it the main image right here. And then click on this button right here that says add to spotlight. Okay, then it will put that image in your scene somewhere. And then you'll see this ring as well. And you'll want to use this button right here to scale the image or rotate it if you want. But even more importantly, here's the opacity. It usually comes in looking something like this. So you'll want to crank that opacity up so you can see it better. And then you can use the inside of this ring to move your image around and scale it and put it where you want. But the most important thing is you got to make sure that you turn spotlight projection off, or else your brushes won't work anymore. And if you're using my user interface, you can find it right here, spotlight projection. But if you're not using my user interface, you can find that under brush samples spotlight projection. That's where you find that button. And then you just want to turn it off. Otherwise it wants to, because this is, spotlight is used to like stamp images down to your surface of your object. But if you want to use it as a reference, you got to turn that functionality off, if that makes sense. Okay, hope that answers your question. Okay, let's, I'm going to duplicate this sleeve and kind of flip it around the either way here. Whoops, I'm not on the sleeve. Here we go. I always thought this song was funny. Original Sin. Singing about, I think, interracial relationships. And it's funny because there's no such thing as interracial. I would call it intercultural relationships. I don't know why they call it racism. Because there's one race of humans. Anyway. Okay, looks like he's got wings now. Okay, I'm gonna. If you have something masked, all you have to do is hit Control W to put that masked object into its own polygroup. Works out pretty nice. So I want to bend the sleeve now, but I don't have the edge loops to do it. I'm actually going to turn off dynamic subdivision for a moment, and then go to ZModeler. And then by default, it's set up to insert an edge. So I'm going to do 3 of these. Whoops, come on. 1 here. 1 here. 1 here. Okay, and then use mask lasso. And then masking this off, I'm going to invert the mask and just tap on it once to just kind of blur it into this side. but that blurs too much, so I'm going to mask this off again. I just want this line to be partially masked, not 100%. You'll see why here in a second. So if I put my gizmo right here, I can bend it, and it's kind of like a rig. You can see that this line stays, this line halfway moves, and this line 100% moves. Let's see, I'm going to turn dynamic subdivisions back on, and I'll probably delete the arm underneath this, but I just wanted to kind of give myself a start. Okay, and I'll clean that up here in a little bit, but 21st century's yesterday. What song is that, you guys? Everybody does it, that's okay, yay. So, got to let you know. See, that's kind of the beauty of having your mesh so low resolution, is that you can totally work it and get it there, and then sculpt on top of it later after you subdivide it. Okay, but of course it's having some issues down here, and that's when you just kind of rework that area. Live my life. You're one of my kind. You guys are awfully quiet today. What's going on? Usually you're a bunch of jibber jabbers. So enthralled. Girl. And I will I'll make this hollow, but not all the way to his shoulder, because I'm wanting to 3D print this eventually, hopefully, maybe someday. But so I'm kind of preparing for that, and I'm just going to do an indentation in the end to make it look like cloth, but it doesn't actually go hollow all the way up his sleeve. Are we still streaming, Neil? Is it still working? It says 2 out of 2 is good. Oh, you're watching my portfolio. Seems like your stylized characters very much. They're very pretty. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, stylized characters are my thing. That's what I like. Yeah, I worked for Disney for 10 years. And so I kind of got that bug and never looked back, I guess. So a lot of those characters in my portfolio are from Disney and Disney Infinity. But I've been updating my portfolio recently. Been doing some renders, and some of those images are going to be, I'm going to be adding them to my ArtStation soon. It's your dream to join there. Nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, they actually, Disney purchased a studio that I was working at. So they kind of came to me. Well, the studio had already been purchased when I started working there. So I luckily didn't have to move to California. I'm from Utah. But they since sold the studio to Warner Brothers, and now they work on Hogwarts Legacy, which is a absolutely phenomenal game. All my friends that still work there, they did such an outstanding job with that game. I'm no longer there. I teach full time. Speaking of which, if you're interested in learning more from me other than just during my live streams, I do have a full, it's called the 3D Character Workshop. It's a full masterclass in making these characters. They also offer a mentor, like a yearly mentorship group coaching. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. The link's in the description. Okay, let's see. Go. So if you use the Insert Multi-Mesh brush, you can pull it out and then push it back in. And as you push it back in, it's going to scale on two of the axes, not the Z axis. Just working on these pants. I like to start from the narrow side, and then I'll stick the gizmo in the middle of the unmasked area. So what you can do is click on this, go to Unmasked Mesh Center. Mandalorian, today someone bought my STL for the first time ever. Awesome, congrats. That's such a good feeling. You're like, yes, validation. That's great. I've thought about selling STLs. Sorry, one second. I don't understand. I think I want to kind of have it go down like this. Yeah, I've thought about doing Disney looking miniatures, but not miniatures, like 1/6 scale, like the this pirate girl behind me. I don't know if you can see these prints that I have. Wonder if I can. It's like big circle. You can kind of see it right there. And then this is Boba Fett back there. And then if you look on this side, this is the girl that I walk you through how to make her in the main character workshop. But I was thinking about doing like D&D characters like that size, to be printed that size, I guess, with the intention of printing that size. You can print them small too, but the details kind of don't hold up as well at a smaller size. You're talking about maybe doing some live recording into the new course. Have you had any ideas on the pricing model and how you'd release it? Like one by one or full course later? Flippy, that's interesting that you ask. So what I'm thinking about is, and I'm still debating whether I'm going to do it live or not. But basically make a character, record myself teaching how to do it, whether that's live or not. And then making that into a course, its own course, like a full character from start to finish. And again, I'm still kind of debating whether I include painting, because they would be for 3D printing specifically, like for collectibles. And if I can manage it, I'd like to. And then make a trailer for YouTube out of that, just to kind of show people what it is and what you'd learn. But I'm trying to get some, I have some freelance stuff right now I'm trying to get done and out of the way so I can do that. I'm doing some characters for someone locally here for a project that's pretty cool. So, yeah, like I said, as soon as that's done, and I'm just not sure if I'm going to do it live or not. We'll see. Sometimes I like to do it live like this because then it shows all of the like warts and all, you know. If I make a mistake or something, I can show you how to fix it, and you can ask questions and all that kind of stuff. So that's the good part about it. But the bad part is, like, I have to kind of schedule it and tell people about it so they can show up and that kind of stuff. Because sometimes I get the spark to just sculpt anytime, and I don't know how I would work that out. So yeah, I'm still thinking heavily about it. But I definitely want to do a bunch of characters, like character after character, and make each character a course. So I don't just have one course, you know, because that course, it's fantastic, but it's getting big because I've updated it a lot. And so that just makes the value incredible because there's so much in there, but it also makes it overwhelming because there's so much in there, you know. And I don't want to overwhelm people. I just want it to be clean and more simple. Yeah, I also thought about doing different pricing plans based off of, like, if I did it live or versus not live. And if you wanted to show up live, it'd be a little bit more just because you could be there and ask questions, or you could buy it for less later. I don't know if that gets too complicated. And some people don't like the live aspect of it. They would just rather just listen to the instruction without being interrupted by all the people asking questions, which I completely understand. Because I tried that with one character in my course, and some people liked it and other people didn't, just because of all it just makes it go longer. Because I have to pay attention to chat, so it takes me longer to do it. And then sometimes I go off on tangents because people want me to demo things, you know? So I'm not always 100% focused on what's happening or what I'm doing. I guess I could just use his leg as and just, but yeah, whatever. I like to keep it simple. New sensation. Again, I'm going to do the 3 loop thing at the knee. Invert it, blur it, invert it. Whoops, no. Either way sounds cool. Could do Patreon, get questions on each vid after they come out, answer the next maybe. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. I had a Patreon for a while, it just didn't do great. Oh, I gotta mask everything else off too. Zzz. But I kind of wasn't patient enough to you know, wait it out and let it work. It's like, this isn't working. I'm moving on. And also, a big debate is like, well, I shouldn't talk about this on the Maxon channel, but you know, just software. Just because people want to learn other software, but ZBrush is still the go-to as far as professional work goes, and I think it's going to be for quite some time. Also, I'm kind of wondering, I'm like an official trainer for ZBrush. Like they dubbed me whatever that means, an official trainer. And what that means is I can dub other people like power users of ZBrush or professional. What do they call that? Can't remember the name of it. But it basically says you know how to use ZBrush. You get like a badge stating the fact, an official badge saying, yep, I know ZBrush. Just wondering how many people would be interested in that. It would be a course to get people certified. That's it. Officially certified ZBrush. ZBrush Pro. Something you could put on your resume and it's recognized by Maxon. Yeah, certification. There you go. Yep. They do it with their other programs. They meaning Maxon. Like you can get certified in, like say, Cinema 4D, stuff like that. I just wonder if there's an interest there or not. There we go. Shane Olson it would be Maxon certified by Shane Olson, not Shane Olson certified. That's funny. I dub thee, sir, ZBrush. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see. I want to maybe try and push this pose just a little bit more. Wasted. Okay, let's see. What I'm going to try and do is use the transform objects. My next project will be an art toy. I've learned just watching you. I love it. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to mask this off as well. So this upper robe is unmasked and these arms are unmasked. Hey Rich, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you very much. Glad you could join. Okay, so I'm going to try and shift this. I think the legs are also part of the hands. Maybe not. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to grab this robe again, and it's blurred. You can see the mask is blurred. Now, grab this gizmo, kind of set it up, get it ready. Well, I'm going to move it along the plane of the camera, so I don't really need to move that. But I can turn on this transpose all selected subtools, or as Paul Gabry calls it, the pizza boxes. Turn that on. And then I like to drag a box out here so everything turns transparent. And then using Control plus Shift, I can go back and select all the things that I want to move, like the hands, the arms, the sleeves. And then remember, I just masked off these pants, so they shouldn't move. And then the body. Okay, so I'm going to move it to the camera so I can see it like this. Reset the gizmo, and then just kind of shift everything over like so, and then crank it down a little bit. I don't want to go too low because I want him looking forward. I'm just looking at this angle of his shoulders and his arms, trying to get that correct. Okay. Maybe rotate it this way a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now I can turn the pizza boxes back off and we're good to go. Okay, let's do a, if you're using ZBrush 2025, it has this save next option. You can just click that, and as long as your file has numbers at the end, well, if it doesn't, it will add numbers. If you have numbers, it will just save the next number in line. So it's very nice. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this robe, clear that mask, and just kind of edit. I'm gonna bring this in. Let's make it a bigger brush. And again, I do give away these brushes for free over on my website if you're interested, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. I've been giving them away for quite some time. I think since 2015, I want to say. So I've had my course going since 2017. I just looked it up yesterday. That's when I first launched. I want to say it was May 2017. The updated version, I mean, no, not the updated version, but they're fairly updated. Like, you won't get this retop brush or the key brush, but you'll get everything else and the user interface. But the user interface is a gray background instead of a blue like this. Oh, I want to get rid of that fade, by the way. I don't like that range. There we go. Yeah, I'm still testing them. Like that range, I decided I don't like that fade in the background. I just want it plain blue. So, you know what? No, I can't save it because I got this character in there. I was going to save it right now. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't. And I noticed that this retop brush is still kind of buggy. So I want to make sure that I need it. I want to use it. This new AI world is crazy for artists. A lot of pros and cons. How do you feel about AI in the 3D space, and have you implemented it into your workflow somehow? it's really interesting that you asked that, because my buddy Steve and I were just discussing some of that earlier today. Like right before the stream, I was talking to him about some of that, and also my buddy Peter from Real Illusion is deep into it, and my opinion is the cat's kind of out of the bag. Like Pandora's box has been opened. There's no shoving it back in there. So we kind of went through this once before when 3D came out and offset the traditional animation world, you know? And I went to school exactly when that was happening. And I didn't know how to feel about it, because I was such a lover of 2D animation, you know. That's what inspired me to get into this in the first place is, you know, um, like Disney and Don Bluth and all of the experimental stuff back in the day, and even claymation and all that stuff. Um, and so for me, it felt like CG was just another tool. But what quickly happened is those 2D animators, it's like either you have to adapt or you're gonna get left behind, kind of a thing, right? And I feel like that's semi happening with AI, but it feels more harsh than that. You know, it feels it could, because CG and 3D modeling, like I said, it's just another medium, another tool. Whereas AI is like a complete takeover. It feels like sometimes, and it's just getting better and better and better. But I don't know. Well, I'll just say this: I don't think that AI will ever be able to like do the keying and make the models really nice to be animated and that kind of stuff, because currently what you get is a pile of vertices, like a big mess. It's called a what is it called? Oh my gosh. It's like a cloud, a point cloud. There you go. I'm like, it's a cloud of points. It's like a point cloud, right? It's just a cloud of points all connected, and they're all triangles. Some of them have implemented like quad remesher, you know, to kind of try and do the model itself. And it still has its issues, and I've seen some really, really good concepts as well. Like, I don't understand how it does it. Um, but it never does it completely. So you still have to, I think there will always be room for artists and the skills and the, you know, a need to know how to interpret those things. And for me, it feels like another reference, um, just because you can't use it, just whatever it gives you straight up, you just can't use it, and you can't copyright it, that kind of stuff. So you can see that it can be used in ways like that, like reference, or and the 3D models, they can also be used as reference. And it's kind of helpful. It's like an idea generator in my mind, because sometimes it comes up with stuff that I never would have come up with on my own. But then I have the skills that I can run with that. You know, I could go, oh, okay, I could take like this from this one, this from this one, this from this one, kind of jumble them together and make my own thing out of it, or, you know, make certain parts of it more detailed than others, you know, or tweak the pose or tweak the face or whatever I want to do, adjust the head size, that kind of thing. But just using it straight out of the box verbatim, I don't think that's a wise idea. And I don't think it'll ever be, but who knows? We'll see. And also, you can tell if it's AI generated. You can just tell. So you would have to be good enough as an artist to like take the AI out of the AI artistically. And I'm trying to navigate that world right now as we speak, trying to figure out like what the heck? Like what does this mean? How do you guys feel about that? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear. Because what I don't want to be or want people to be in the future is just AI cleanup artists, you know? That wouldn't be great. But that said, it's kind of what I'm doing right now, you know? I'm taking a concept from someone and basically bringing it to 3D life. And that's a copy machine in sort of a way, but I don't know. Uses reference. High detail are mostly still a mush. You have to figure out what it means, what it yeah, exactly. Broken hearts behind mist. Okay. It's getting better, but I think people overestimate the output out of fear. Yep, justified, but as an artist, it doesn't give you exactly that artist crafted output. It does lower entry for just making anything. That's well put. Yeah, Flippy. Yep, exactly. Great feedback. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I work as a motion graphic designer for cybersecurity company. There's a heavy push for it to be used. Okay, I'll tell you why. Why there's a heavy push. Because it means savings for the company. All of the suits, the people that need to budget, and they see this as a shortcut and a means for getting rid of people, right? And cutting costs all over the place. But it's not that. And they've been sold the lie, you know? And it's probably going to take, it's unfortunate, but it's probably going to take a while for that not to be the case. Yeah, and I don't, that's unfortunate. And I think it's almost like NFTs. It's like that's going to take a little bit of time still um to convince the suits that it's not the biggest savings that has been promised to them. Yeah, it kind of sucks too because people have already lost their jobs over that promise. And that makes no sense to me. It's like we're going to let these people go before it's been proven to work and save the money. You know what I mean? And that then they just have to hire people back, and then those people have moved on to other jobs and they've lost out, you know. And who knows how many shareholders they've promised, that how much they've cut the bottom line because of AI, blah blah blah. Yeah. I think it can help in certain situations, but I think they're quickly finding out that it's not just a magic wand they can wave and say, make cool stuff. Yeah, AI generated images can be like herding cats at times. You can't really art direct it. You know, if you say, I like everything but change this little piece, it'll go like, here's an entire new image. How about this one? You know, it will. I mean, and you can circle an area and say, change just this little bit, and usually it's just horked. It doesn't work very well. Told to keep everything the same, but add a stylus in your hand doesn't want. Yeah, it just does its thing, man. Right now, I'll say it's good for what you mentioned, ideas and reference. It helps you get concepts out faster. Yeah, and even then, okay, I'll tell you this too. Even then, I still, because I have a lot of concept art friends, and I'm trying to navigate that as well because I feel like it's a little harder on concept artists than it is on 3D artists. meaning it's more, I hate to use the word threatening, but it's the same thing. It's like, I want to give this AI outputted idea and then give it to them and say, okay, here's the idea, here's some, and use it as reference. Here's a reference. Can you make me an actual real concept from this generated concept, and like suck the AI out of it so it doesn't look AI generated, you know, that kind of a thing. And so they still have a viable career and worth, and you know, it's not like it's going to take their livelihood away that they've spent years and years perfecting their craft just to be snuffed out, kind of a thing, you know. It's just a way for bigwigs to save money. They pretty much said in our meetings without saying, yeah, exactly, we want more output, but we're going to do it with people we have using a, yeah. And then they're forced to be like, yeah, that's what sucks. It's like, you're gonna it kind of reminds, well, it's not a good reference. I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of that Paul Bunyan cartoon with the Paul Bunyan versus the chainsaw, but the chainsaw could actually do a better job than Paul Bunyan, which is not the case with AI, not with everything. Just hard to control. That's the biggest thing. Worries me that they use it even if it doesn't work, just to lower pay rates. Exactly. They're using it as leverage, and that's horrible. That's where that's the biggest argument I have against AI, is the suits and the money people using it as leverage to lower your pay, and or losing your job completely, you know, because of it, or outsourcing it to other countries, you know, something like that. It's just, they always wanted to save money, and this just makes people have dollar signs in their eyes. How many people are watching now, like over at Twitch or over on YouTube? Just curious, because I can't see the metrics. And thank you very much, guys, for watching me today. I really appreciate it. Hanging out, joining me. YouTube's 32, not bad. Thank you for sharing that. $25 on Twitch. Okay, sweet. Thanks. About 50-ish. I think my highest ever was like 300 people. I can't remember why. So just curious, do you guys prefer watching YouTube videos or live, or both? Like, what do you find yourself watching more? Just curious. I guess on the positive side, you could say it will show in the end result, just as everything else does. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's been some attempts to make a complete film with AI, and it's just been a train wreck. Yeah, you can't skip in live, that's for sure. You're like, fast forward to the end. Let's see how this ends up. I watch YouTube. I also buy lessons from Udemy. I can't put my courses on Udemy because they take too much and they don't charge enough. It's great for the end user like you, but for people like the artist trying to do it for a living, it's just not enough. Like I couldn't go full time with it. Hey, Carius, thank you very much. Happy to be back. Okay, let's, I kind of want to get sculpting some of these wrinkles in all this cloth here and then start to work on this robe. It's very, very complex and detailed, which is awesome. You also need to get those like breather holes in there and all this detail too. Both, but like the interaction of live, if I have questions or want to send you off on a tangent, yeah, toy with me. Yeah, sometimes I feel like live is more entertaining. Just wondering if I sculpt an action figure and do the articulation too, how much should I charge for a job that big? Honestly, I have no idea. I've never really sold something with articulation like that. I would look for other, and it depends on where you're selling it too, like My Mini Factory or something like that. Just go research for other similar ones to what you're wanting to do and use that as a guide, I guess. That's what I would do. Okay, let's see, duplicate. I'm going to save this one and then turn this into high resolution Sculpt. Let's see. Just wondering, okay, evening. It would be good to see on your Facebook page when you're live in the week, just so we can glance and plan ahead. Oh yeah, that's interesting, Mr. Pobbs. I love watching live. Nice. Yeah, maybe I can do that. I'm wondering if it'll reach out. So the algorithm for Facebook is tricky because if I post a link outside of Facebook, it does not tend to share it with the people who follow me very well. It'll share it with a small handful of people. So I don't know how to like skirt around that. And because I'm definitely not going to pay to spread it. That's what Facebook wants me to do. And I'm not doing that. Okay, so that's something they have to figure out how to get protected from pirating if you want to sell your STL files. Yeah, I don't know how. The only company I've ever seen do a good job with that is Lychee. But the reason why is because they have it locked down in their own system. So you could only download it and print it through Lychee. You can't take it outside of Lychee. You have to, and it's already sliced, and you just kind of send it to your printer from there. So you can't, I mean, you can, yeah, I'm not sure how you can ship, but they have it pretty locked down. That's the only place I've really seen it. Otherwise, yeah, you just get the STL and you can just share it, whatever. ZBrush live calendar for when Shino and other stream here. Can you, Neil, that's a thing. I can't remember where that is. If you could post a link for people. Yeah, you can see when I'm going live, but it's basically, I go live on Tuesdays on my channel, which is the 3D Character Workshop. There's a link in the description to my YouTube channel down there. And then, then I go live here on Thursdays from noon till 2 Pacific time. I was going to tell you Mountain Time because that's where I'm at, but no, then it becomes math. But yeah, I don't know how to protect your STLs from being shared. I just kind of chalk it up to it's going to happen regardless. So I just hope there's enough people out there that want to support me that'll actually pay for the STLs and they won't steal it, you know? Same with my courses. it's inevitably going to get stolen. So you just kind of have to shrug your shoulders and go, oh well, you know. And hopefully enough people buy it that allows you to keep. See, that's the thing with piracy. I don't think that people understand how it harms the creator. And like the person pirating, I'm sure usually wants more. So if they want more, they should help the artist out and buy it instead of stealing it, you know? Because stealing it just makes the artist want to stop doing it, or forcing them to stop doing it. And then they have none. Or even a live schedule tab on your character workshop page. Mr. Pobbs, are you in the Discord? Because it gets announced there every time I go live. But if you're not on the Discord, it doesn't help anybody. Or that doesn't help you out. Yeah, or that's just people just weaseling off of creators. You know, that's the sad things to see. People trying to make money off of other people when they've done nothing, you know. And all you could do at that point is hopefully your fans and supporters will see your STLs being listed on other places and just let you know, and then you can kind of go after them and tell them to take it down. Hey Steven, going well, thanks. Thanks for dropping by. How are you? No, I is not. I've also thought about sending out emails, letting people when I'm either posting a new video or going live, just so people can know. I don't email my email list hardly at all. That's my fault. So that's what I was talking about, like by making it semi-hollow, but leaving it solid. Yeah, if you are a student of the 3D Character Workshop, I have a Discord, a private Discord for my students, which is right here. And yeah, this is what it looks like. So all of my 3D Character Workshop students are here, and there's some sculpt rooms you can go live and hang out with each other. And then I also do a mentorship, and this is a separate area that I do a weekly coaching call. And so if you're interested in joining my mentorship, please reach out to me. Either you can DM me on Discord. My handle is just Shane O with no space, just SHANEO. And you can just ask me about the mentorship, or you can send me an email through the contact page and just ask me, hey, I'd like to know more about the mentorship, you know, something like that. But anyway, this is it, and the announcements for when I go live are here. Neil posts those. Thank you, Neil, to let you know when I'm going live. Yeah, Steve, this guy's hands are awesome. Look at those thin fingers and these ploppy floppy fingertips. They're really fun. So Mr. Pobbs, if you can, I suggest you get onto the Discord. That'll help. But thanks for your suggestions. I might add that to either my Facebook group or email or something to notify people. I'd probably get more viewers that way. His arms are so long. They are. If he were to stand up, I think he'd be a knuckle dragger. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. The ZBrush website had a nice schedule thing with a countdown. I used today. Oh, they do have it still. Use that today. It was handy. Nice. I did a block out of him for funs and practices. It ain't perfect, but I had fun. Nice. Shane, love your skills. Oh, thank you so much. I have fun. I'm going to tilt this way and shrink it quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like his cuff is, you're not even going to see it, so maybe I'll put it lower. Less chance of pockets. Actually, I think I might just put it down here like a cap and then pull the foot up into it. It's still about, I can't post it to YouTube. Oh yeah, gosh dang it. I tried to get Ian to do it, but I guess there's issues. Yeah, I always miss the YouTube notification thing. Follow too many people. Yeah. Yeah. So if I guess you can hit the bell and it should tell you when, but with Maxon it will tell you when everybody is going live, you know, not just me, which if you want to watch the others it is great. But if you follow me over on 3D Character Workshop, you can also subscribe and hit the bell over there, and it should be able to tell you. Okay, what is going on with these holes? There we go. So that's a trick. If you use the inflate brush, you can kind of inflate those holes closed, and then just kind of use the smooth brush to smooth back over them. I want to say a big thanks to you for all you do. I landed a job at a small animation studio starting in August. Woohoo! And a lot of it had to do with some of the work I did in the workshop. Awesome. Well, there you go, Stephen. Holy cow. I got to copy that and use it as a testimonial, man. I always forget to put testimonials up. But thank you for that, Stephen. That's awesome. Congrats. That's super huge. Super huge. And it's my pleasure. So if I can say it without getting all choked up, That was the rewards of doing this that I was not expecting. You know, when I first started doing my courses and tutorials and things like that, I did it out of well, I wouldn't necessarily say greed, but you know, it was to kind of help myself, give myself a safety net for if I ever got laid off, or you know, between jobs or studios or freelance work or whatever. That's how it started. But then people started getting like finding opportunities of their own with the work and the you know, and I'm just like, wait a minute, this is bigger than just the monetary aspect, you know. That's awesome. That's awesome. Made my day. Yeah, it's also like your success is my success. You know, so it's like, man, you put in the work and you follow the instruction, you can find opportunities. I know you showed it on Tuesday, but can you show Raf's Luigi? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll show it again. Okay, so I inside the workshop I do these monthly challenges. And last month I we did a Luigi Lucarelli challenge. And Luigi Lucarelli is an amazing concept artist. He does these really fun characters. And yeah, so we do these. And Raf Santos, one of my students, did this one for the challenge, and it turned out absolutely incredible. I mean, he just knocked it out of the park. So yeah, gotta show it. Gotta show it off. It's super cool. He did such a fantastic job. So good job, Raf. Awesome. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for reminding me to do that. Gotta plug my students when I can, right? Yeah, right, Steven. So good. So good. And there's another one of my mentor students that did um, a Luigi concept, and he also knocked it out of the park. Let me find his. Up. Yeah, this is all like student work. Where is it? I hope these guys don't mind me showing off some of this stuff. Oh, yeah, this Jimi Hendrix is also amazing. Look at this. That's a sculpt. That's not a drawing or an illustration. That's a sculpt. So, yeah, Edwin Spencer, one of my mentor students, did that. Um, Gosh dang it, where is it? It's been a while. Like, oh, here it is. This one. I don't know if maybe he'd put it in show off your art. Gosh, there's so much, you guys. There it is. Okay, check this out, you guys. Look at that one. So good. Yeah, this is his sculpt. Look at how good that is. Holy cow. This is Nikita. I don't want to pronounce his last name wrong. Bidyuk. I'm not sure how to say it. Sorry, Nikita. Mentorship is basically that, but I just like how it says, what do you mean? Is basically what? Oh, see, we need a Shane Olson certification. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the mentorship is kind of like that. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so if you want to join us in there, I mean, it's like having a, well, it is having a university instructor for at your disposal for a year. I did teach at university. So if you're thinking about it, send me a message. Be happy to talk to you about it. And it's not, I'll just tell you now, it's not cheap, but it's nowhere near the cost of a university. I should have some of my students on, like interview them. Too heavy. Going down the mountain. Yeah, some of my students like surpassing me. Okay, I got to show you one more because I saw it. It's up top here. This one by Marcus Hartel. He's been interviewed by Maxon before, by Ian, but this is so good. This is Ben Eblin's concept, and then where is? Oh, he's got. Sorry, he's got it rotating. There we go. This is Marcus Hartel's sculpt. Again, it looks like a drawing. Look at that. He loves to do hand painted vertex coloring to make it look like the painting. He even paints in the lighting and everything. So it's, yeah, it's quite amazing. Good old Marcus. Also with that mentorship too, not to keep pitching it, but it just excites me because I also answer people's questions about like freelancing and what to charge, and you know, or if you get given an art test and you want feedback before you send it in, I'm happy to give feedback, and I've been a reference for some students for getting work. Yeah, and then I'll give demos if like people want demos on like how to do UVs for this specific thing, or how would you retopologize something. That's a lot of fun too. What is that brush you use for cloth folds? Fancy version of Damien Standard. It's my carve brush. Well, but it started out life as the Orbs crack brush. So if you have the Orb crack brush, you can use that as well. I've just smoothed it out a little bit and tweaked some things to make it a little cleaner for cloth. Yeah, you can grab this brush for free on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. It's in there. I kind of like the back being clean like this. Sure thing. All right, we're going to do a save next. Take a little drink. Also, I feel like when I'm live, I can't really stand up and stretch, and I have a little like bouncer behind me, like a trampoline that I hop on every once in a while and get the lymphs flowing. And I don't do that when I'm streaming. So I guess that's one benefit of just doing a video instead of a live stream. Sometimes I'll carve these a little too deep, and then I'll just kind of come back, push it out with the move brush, and then smooth them down so it doesn't look so harsh. And sometimes I'll use my 3D mouse to get exactly where I want to be. Neil, I started doing squats every 45 minutes to counteract sitting all day. Yeah, exactly. I have a standing desk too that I can't really, move it up and down, but yeah. I think I've learned. Can't afford you, but I do agree with your pricing. So hopefully I don't take it the wrong way. No, it's totally fine. Not everybody's in a position to just drop funds. One thing I've learned is artists shouldn't undersell themselves. Yeah. I mean, again, I've been able to do this full time and dedicate my time to my students. So that's kind of part of the cost. Like you can't, like you don't really get that on Udemy. There, I'll just say that. Oops, I grabbed cloth, not carve. But I am counting on doing some cheaper courses coming up instead of one giant course for that much, So that should help. Sometimes I'll come back in with the move brush and push some of these to exaggerate and affect the silhouette more. That's the goal here. All right. This is too naked back here though. Let's do some similar curves back here. Bigger brush. Gosh dang it. Okay, my right click is set to my front button on my pen, and sometimes when I go to do a stroke, I'll accidentally hit it with my thumb and just send the model spinning like crazy. Okay, whoa, this must have been masked or something back here. Look at that. You know, there's pinch points and fold types, but it's also just random with the folds. Not random, no. Nope, I'm thinking about a whole bunch of stuff while I do these. Let's flip this like, excuse me. I'm thinking about the arm underneath. See this right here? It makes it look like his arm is underneath, and then this fold comes up. And same with these. These are called compression folds. And then these are called, this is from the pinching. And usually like the folds will be stretched out across the surface, and they have weight to them, like gravity. So they're being pulled down. And usually the pinch happens in the armpit too. And so you can kind of aim at the armpit. That. I should have gone the other direction. Stylized is almost never random, always decisive. Absolutely. Yeah, because when you're doing stylized characters, everything is part of the design. So, like right now, I'm looking at the silhouette. Like, see this little pocket of air right here, this space? And then this one, this is called negative space. I'm looking at that for everything, all the negative space. But not just from this direction, I'm looking at it from this direction and this direction. You know, every single, it's got to look good from all sides, and he's got to be balanced from all sides. So I want to make it so he doesn't look like he's going to fall over forward, although he kind of does right now. So I'll have to pull, I kind of want to pull his whole chest back in space a little bit, but do you like this method more than working with subdivs and damn standard? Yes. In terms of macro cloth shapes, yeah. Yep. I mean, this is, I mean, I subdivided this just to get it to high resolution. I just want enough geometry there that I'm not hindered by my, I guess, artistic ideas. I hate being hoity-toity like that, but it's true. Like I want to be thinking about the cloth, and I don't want to be thinking about the geometry underneath. How's that? Yeah, these are, see, here's another one, is his leg is underneath here, right? And the cloth is pulling against his leg right there. And then the gravity is underneath, and we got these folds underneath here. And that's how you can tell that the concept artist kind of knows what he's doing. And then there's also twisted up cloth in the shoulders from him lifting his arms and putting his arm out. It's kind of being twisted and pinched. And see, all these lines are pointing to his armpit right there. That's where I'm going next with this one. And you usually point at the pits, like your elbow pit and your armpit and your knee pit, crotch pit, all the pits. I want to go through and give him those little suction cup toes too, eventually. Now that I've seen this, like, he's going to look like he's going to fall over forward. I want to fix it. So again, I'm going to do what I did before. and we're going to mask off his robe halfway. So mask lasso. I'm going to do a save next, just so we have it. Okay, and then blur. And then mask off the legs, because I'm not going to move the legs. So the torso is masked off, the arms are masked off, and I'm just going to move these hands and these aren't everything with it. So let's grab his robe again, turn on this pizza boxes, grab his head, grab his hand. Okay, those are all the things I want to move. We'll look at him from this direction. Just kind of move him so he's bent over but not falling forward. So when I was working on Disney Infinity, we would take our models into Maya and then we would do a physics simulation on them. Oh, it looks like his arms aren't coming with, dang it. Hold on a second. Why are they masked off? They are masked off. Okay, that's why. You got to pay attention to that. Okay, let's do that again. Like, why are his arms not coming for the ride? Do it again, Sam. What's up with this? That arm too. Gosh. Think to myself. And this gizmo acts as a pivot point that you can pivot from pretty much anywhere you want. Like if I want to pivot from the mask blend area, I can move it down here and bend it from there, or I can put it in the middle. And don't be afraid to use translate as well as rotate to get it how you want it. But see, now it doesn't look like he is going to fall over so much. I kind of want to invert that. And then move his butt back a little bit, make it fly, just so he has a little bit more weight. Blur, blur. I don't want to move his belt line, I just want to move this robe flying out back to help with the weight distribution and the flow. That's better. I could even flip the bottom out. Use a smaller brush and just kind of flip it out. Okay. And you can just kind of smooth it out. Let's see. I don't often watch people work, but it's comforting to see we have the same problems with masking. Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially when it's not visual, you know? Like you can't visualize that unless you actually have the subtool selected. But this, I don't know what happened here. I must have like lasso selected something from the front and I didn't realize it selected the back. But it's easy to fix. I'm going to go lighter on the Sculptress Pro here and just kind of paint that out, sculpt it out, whatever you want to call it. sorry, I'm all over the place. Come here, 3D mouse. Let's go. There we go. Okay. He's starting to come together. Let's do the wrinkles on this back arm. You can see. See again, you can see where the arm is actually inside of the sleeve, and then the gravity is making it kind of loose and floppy down here, and there's a crease separating those two. So that's what's happening there. And then you can see at mine, I have this kind of reverse curve, and this is pretty straight. So I want to make sure I get that straight, but I don't want to grab the cloth underneath here. So I'm going to change this to topological range 3, maybe even 2. That's just the fall off of how much geometry it's going to grab. And so it'll grab this top geometry, but not underneath, but sometimes it does anyway. Okay. I want to go higher on the detail now. Okay. You got to be careful with the detail of Sculptus Pro, because if you don't have a big machine, or even if you do have a big machine, you can accidentally get it out of control fairly quickly and then make your machine scream because it's very heavy on your CPU. Okay. Do a little inflate. Again, I don't really care for Sculptus Pro to be turned on when I'm trying to inflate stuff, because it tends to work against you. But then sometimes you'll get these little holes, these little pits, and we already talked about how to get rid of those. With Sculptus Pro on, you just kind of smooth it out, and eventually it'll get rid of them. These little dimples. Okay. Okay. Let's do good old carve brush again. I want a bigger. You can go pretty slow with this carve brush just to be in control more, and then I'll come back and smooth this stuff out. You can also come back in with like a H polish and just kind of get rid of these peaks that it makes. Sometimes it'll make these hard peaks that are pretty heavy. And then you can also use fill as a scrape brush. So fill it's like a layer fill. See this? And it's pretty dang subtle. Can't see it too well, but if you hold down Alt, it'll actually scrape the surface, and it'll scrape that peak right off of there. It's almost like one of those sculpting tools, those little loops with the flat edge. And it kind of just lets you scrape it off. Then you can just keep the valley and get rid of those peaks. See? If that's what you want. Okay, now with this one, I kind of want to hide this floppy bit if I can. I don't know. It might be, it may be too late and be welded together already. But there's a trick you can do with the gizmo. You can hold down, so I have the gizmo active. You can't see it. I'll just put it right there. If you hold down Control, you can like drag down an appendage like this. There, perfect. Okay, and then it'll mask off. It'll try and mask off down that appendage like this. Then I can blur it. That way, I won't accidentally mess with this, because if I try to put wrinkles in right here, it will actually mess with this other piece, and I don't want that. Okay. And you can hide it too if you want to, like hide portions of it so it can be completely out of your way. That's a little bit more difficult to do, to hide it, but yeah, we'll see what happens when I do this. Bigger brush. Okay, I'm liking that. You want to vary your brush size too. This time will be the last time we will fight like this. Sorry, you guys get serenaded today. Serenade, is that the word? Will you be in the ZBrush Summit? I might be. I might do the Sculpt Off challenge this year. I wish it was live. Like I wish it was at a location, but they just barely moved. I believe they moved somewhere like North Hollywood or something. And I think they're still trying to figure out a venue to host the ZBrush Summit. They used to, so Pixelogic, before they were Maxon, they used to take up residence at the Gnomon School. So they had an office in the back, and which was super cool and convenient because Alex, the owner of Gnomon, would let them do the ZBrush Summit there. And but Gnomon moved. They're no longer there, and so it kind of forced ZBrush to move out of there. Let's smooth this out. So I think they're still working out like their moving situation, their office situation, where they're going to hold the summit, that kind of thing. So I think this year it's just going to be another virtual, but next year I would be surprised if it's not live. But we'll see. We'll see. Remains to be seen. Okay. Let's see. Speaking about courses, anyone tried the Pav mic? I got it to renew my ZBrush memory, but it's kind of chaotic. Hundreds of technical videos on different settings and tools, but no real projects. Yeah, that's kind of Michael Pavlovich for you. he's like a ZBrush encyclopedia. It's almost like if you looked up something on Wikipedia for ZBrush, you get a Mike Pavlovich video. Yeah, he's got so many like short. It's almost like if you're like, how do I do this thing? It's most likely Mike has a video on it. But he knows it inside and out, and he's a good instructor as well. He's just very, very technical. Yeah, I actually hung out with Mike at the last ZBrush Summit. He's awesome. I want to see if I can find we took a good picture together. I don't know if I could find it quick or not. Let me just browse these pictures really quick. Oh, nope, that's not it. I thought I was getting close. Man, it's been a while since they had a live ZBrush Summit, hasn't it? Sorry, thanks for your patience. Oh, I'm getting close. This is Lightbox. I didn't see him at Lightbox. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's going to open it in an Affinity photo. All right. Affinity photo. This is Michael Pavlovich, and this is me. And I'm holding the... I don't know who this dude is. I'm holding a Mickey that I did. Let's see. They printed that Mickey at the show. This guy. Yeah, you can see some Gentle Giant figures. But this is, yeah, this is a Mickey they printed for me at the show. This is one of my sculpts. Michael, it's funny because Michael is kind of crouching because that dude is tall. He comes up to about here. Yeah, he's a big guy. He gave me his card and his full ZBrush for ideation when I did meet him. Super awesome, nice. Ghazi D, I agree with you. That dude's a walking encyclopedia about ZBrush for sure. Okay. I accidentally got rid of my crease on this sleeve. I want to get it back. So I'm just going to use this detail brush, which is essentially the Damien standard brush. And then I'm going to inflate it closed like this. Whoop. That's how you can get it back. Okay. But it did introduce some warblies. Oh, his re-illusion stuff is fantastic. Yeah, actually, I watched his a lot of his tutorials to figure out how to use Character Creator, because he did a really good one on this goblin that he did, and like, yeah, it's very, very good. I did like 4 characters for re-illusion that should be, I figured they'd be in their store by now, but I guess they're still working on them. I don't know what they're doing with them. You ended up buying ZBrush because of Michael? That's good. Oh, Character Creator. You bought Character Creator because of Michael. Ah, that makes sense. Yes. Yeah, and it works really, really well with ZBrush. Like, they go hand in hand. Very nice combo. Especially if you use the character creation base mesh. It's pretty solid. Okay, let's Sculptress Pro this down. Turn off dynamic. Don't ever have dynamic and Sculptress Pro on at the same time, because it'll really make ZBrush choke. Go a little lighter on this and then flood fill it out. Okay. I got a game for you guys that I've been fiddling around recently. I don't get too much time to play these days, but Yeah, I've just been crazy busy with freelance and other stuff, but there's this game called Vintage Story that I'm really enjoying. It started out as a Minecraft mod, and then it was kind of I guess Minecraft was too inhibiting, so they decided to just take it and run with it on their own. Blender can handle some posing if you're on a budget. That's true. I just typically pose in ZBrush normally. But the Rigify inside of Blender is pretty nice. Yeah, I posed when I worked on Disney Infinity. I posed all of those characters with just ZBrush. It's kind of intimidating at first, but once you get used to it, it's not bad. I might have to go tighter detail here. Just because I want to carve this sleeve out. I might mask it off. With Z-sphere rigging? No. No, just with masking. Not with the inker brush, none of that. Just mask it off, pose it. With T-Pose Master. With this thing right here. That's how I pose. So let's see if it's working here. Come on, baby. Like this guy, I mean, I sculpted him in pose. I didn't pose him after the fact. But usually I'll make a character in an A pose. So like all these. This is my portfolio. Like this guy, I made him in an A pose first. And then posed him up like this. And posed him up like this. Yeah, this was the first pose we did. We ended up not using this pose. Which I like this pose better because he's kind of looking up at you, you know? And this one, he sort of is, but he's like down on the ground more, like he's landing or something. But, yeah, what was the hardest one to pose? This one was pretty hard, Anakin. Yeah, this pose was pretty difficult because of he has layers and layers and layers of cloth. So that was kind of tricky. Hey Maha man, how you doing? Because of undercuts? What do you mean because of undercuts? Undercuts for printing? I don't understand what you're asking me. Are you asking if I pose that way or if I'm okay, sorry. Sorry, I don't understand. For Disney Infinity we had to use characters for in game and for toys. So they were being used for both. So we had to have the A pose character and then posed for the toy as well. But this guy is just for 3D print, so I'm posing him first and then doing all the clothing in pose just because it's easier. It would be really difficult to do this guy in an A pose and then pose him like this and then do all the cloth and everything. Yeah, that'd be a pain in the butt. So I'm just posing him up first. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Where was I? You can also turn on transparent to see through your stuff. So then I can mask like where his sleeve hole is going to be. That's too high. Yeah, posing character with loose fabrics like that's going to be a pain to get such pose with bent elbows. Yeah. I mean, it's the wrinkles you would do in a pose for a game character would be completely different than doing it for a pose for a toy. Okay, I'm going to push this in because I'm going to end up exposing some. Yeah, I might even turn the sleeve into this piece right here. Just kind of cleaning this up. Come on. Oh my gosh, it's Barry. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? I worked with Barry a long time ago at Avalanche. Do we still have to do lunch? I can't believe you've been back in Utah for so long and we haven't. That's a shame. Shame, shame. Yes. I've never heard that before. Teasing. All right, let's do it. Yeah, it'd be great to catch up, see what you're up to, tell you what I've been up to, all that. All right, let's get some of this. Try and work this out. Okay, sweet. Are you on Discord or in Facebook or yeah? Just want to know where I should be looking. Is this a character from a game? No, it's just a concept that I found. It's from Star Wars. He's like, you see him in the cantina in A New Hope, but this is the Jedi version of him. They have a name and I forget. I call him Hammerhead. LinkedIn. Okay, that works. What is it, Sammy? It's from Genny Tarkovsky Star Wars cartoon? Is that real? Is that something I don't know about? Is it from that 2D, that the 2D like Clone Wars? Is that what it's from? Oh yeah, yeah, dude. Oh, that's my favorite. I didn't know he was in that. Okay. That's awesome. I got to rewatch that. It's been a long time. Okay, I'm just going to kind of use this detail brush to sketch out this overlapped cloth here. And then it's super folded over right here. I love the Yoda in that version. It's pretty fun. I kind of wish the 3D Clone Wars looked a little bit more like that one. All right, you guys, that's about all the time I have for today. I felt like the 3D Clone Wars came into its own style much later. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do like the style that the 3D Clone Wars has, but I really like the 2D version. It's super good, super pushed. Use this fill brush to scrape again. Okay. It's going to take some more work to get these wrinkles right on this robe, but I think it's coming together okay. All right, party people, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Once again, I do give away these brushes, this user interface, and my ruler file. It's a ruler project. It's like a starting project. So every time you open up ZBrush, you can open up that project and get going. It just kind of sets up your scale for your scene, and it comes in handy for 3D printing and stuff like that. So if you're interested, you can head on over to 3D Character Workshop. The link is in the description. Grab those brushes, user interface, and project. And I also have a big course. It's called the 3D Character Workshop, where I take you through start to finish of several different characters and teach you how to make characters like this. And you can go through at your own pace. It's super fun. There's a ton of people in there, and you get a community with it. You can join us. We do monthly challenges. Heck of a lot of fun. And if you're really serious, I have a mentorship where we get together once a week. It's a group coaching, and you have access to me for a year. So if you're interested in that, please send me a DM through either Discord, which my handle is Shane O, no spaces, or just use the contact link on my website, and you can just send me a message saying, hey, I'm interested in the mentorship. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. You can catch me next Tuesday on my channel, 3D Character Workshop YouTube channel. I stream over there, and then I'll be back again next week here on Thursday from noon till 2 Pacific time. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good one, and we'll catch you later. Talk to you soon, Barry. Thanks, Neil. We'll see you all. Bye-bye.